In the beginning, there was chaos. And then, there was NYX.
Hello creepers, and welcome back to Keep It Creepy. I'm Keha. So it's been a while since I posted, because I'm a slacker, a little bit. But things have been pretty crazy with exams and school, but I graduate in a little over a week, so that's pretty terrifying. And it only took me 7 years. Talk about your non-traditional student. So yeah, basically at that point in my life where I've gone from being an undergrad to unemployed. It's not terrifying at all. How about that 50 grand of debt, huh? But yeah, so my schedule was pretty swamped with school stuff, so I had to push off the YouTubes a little bit, but I'm back with a vengeance. And for this tutorial, I just wanted to do a quick little NYX, the goddess of night and beauty. Just really stuck out to me, so I decided to do it. Because why not? You just gotta do it. Do it. But without further ado, you know what time it is. It's time to get our creep on. Let's go. So to begin, we're gonna start off by sculpting our chest piece. So I want it to say NYX, and originally I was gonna have it light up, but the lights didn't end up fitting under the prosthetic, so ended up having to scrap that idea, unfortunately. Shucky darn. But yeah, so we're just roughing this shape into the clay, and this is just a pretty easy basic sculpt. So we're just putting down a thin layer of clay and making sure the edges are smooth, and then adding some skin textures. And then I just carved the N, Y, and X for NYX into the clay until it got kind of the look that I was going for, and the depth. But I didn't pay too much attention to it because I knew I was going to be cutting out the letters to put lights underneath, but the lights fell through, unfortunately, because I didn't fully think it through. But these things happen and you just gotta roll with the punches. So yeah, now I was just adding in some more skin texture with some texture stamps. Once I got the look I was going for, which didn't take long at all, I built up some clay walls and made sure to seal those really tightly so that the plaster couldn't get out. And then we're ready to mix up some of our plaster and just knocking it a few times to get out the bubbles. And I'll let that harden for about an hour and a half. And then I'm ready to pop it open, and there's our finished mold. Now I'm just putting in a couple layers of latex, and I got a boo-boo. Ouch. So I'm putting about 3 to 4 layers of latex for the prosthetic, drying it completely between layers. And then once that's ready, I'm powdering it with some baby powder thoroughly so that the edges don't stick to itself, and cutting it out for the lights that unfortunately don't happen because I suck at life, but it's okay. Next time, guys, next time. And starting with a clean base, we are ready to apply our prosthetic. So for this prosthetic, I'm just using an old alien prosthetic that I had laying around my house. And my forehead's a little smaller than the prosthetic, so I put some plastic wrap on to protect my hair. And I'm going to have a wig on, so it's going to hide the top edge of that prosthetic, so I didn't care too much about hiding the edges too much because they weren't going to show anyway. So now I'm just putting down some adhesive and sticking down the forehead, chin, and chest prosthetic. And now this white thick paste is what we call Bondo, and it's a thick paste that helps to hide the edges. And it helps to smooth the edges of the prosthetic into the skin. So I'm taking that around the edges of the chest piece and the chin piece, and then the eyelids, but not on the top because it's not going to show because of the wig. And once that dries completely, I'm going to powder it to remove the tackiness. And then we're ready to start painting. So I'm starting out with a cream base white, and I'm just basing out my whole chest and face and doing a little dance. But yeah, just covering myself in this white paint. And then I'm taking my NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil in Milk and putting that on my waterline so that my eyes isn't skin colored when all the rest of me is pure, sheer white. And once I do that, I'm going to go over with my brush that I used before and remove my fingerprints from my face. And then I'm taking my NYX Ultimate Shadow palette in this blue tone, and I'm blending that all over my eyelids. Basically just taking it up to about where my eyebrows would be under the prosthetic, that you can't see them. So I took it just above the edge of the prosthetic. To make the shadow even darker and more pigmented, I added a little bit of water to my brush. And now I'm just bringing that blue down the sides of my nose and along the tip of my nose, and then in the indents of the chin prosthetic. And then I am taking that blue shadow and applying it to the top of my cheekbones to give this look a more angular look that matches the prosthetic. Now I'm taking it along the top of the prosthetic and taking a fluffy brush to blend some of the blue out. And then I'm just contouring under the ridges of the prosthetic and along the ridge of the prosthetic to really highlight the features of the sculpt itself. And then it ended up a little bit too blue for me, so I took my white brush from our chest and blended out some of that blue, and it gave it more of a broken up pattern that I really liked. And now I'm just taking that same blue shadow and putting it along the corners of my mouth, my cupid's bow, underneath my lip, and then we're just going through and contouring our neck to give us those really defined necklines. And now I decided to jump back to my eyes and to give a little bit of a cut crease with some white. And now I'm just shading the chest a little bit more and coloring in that chest prosthetic. Instead of the lights, I just decided to color it in a dark blue, and I colored in kind of messy, but then I just sponge off the excess with a baby wipe and it makes it all nice and tidy when you're finished. So you don't have to worry about being too clean, which I never do. Hashtag slob. And yeah, now I'm just going through and darkening more of those neck contour lines, and then I alternate between adding the dark blue and then going over it with my white fluffy brush to knock back some of those lines and blend it in a little bit more. And now I'm just taking some of that blue shadow down my arms to give a base for when I use the stencil. So now I'm taking my purple shade from my NYX Ultimate palette and this kind of reptilian stencil that I bought online, and using that to give some texture to this look. Because she's like a fierce warrior goddess, and I just thought it really fit this look. And then I'm going through with that purple and darkening the neck contours and bringing it along the top of the eyes. And then I take that purple and blend it under my eyes. And now I'm taking this black shadow and giving a bit of a smoky eye and bringing that under the eyes as well to really give this look some drama. Then I just took some of my eyeliner and lined my eyelids. Pretty straightforward. And then I took the stencil and added some of that reptilian pattern to my forehead. And now we're ready to draw on our purple lips, and I'm just using that same shadow from the Ultimate palette, and then I just added some water to really darken the pigment. And then I'm taking that in some thin lines down the neck to really make those neck contours pop. And And then I just threw on a lid, and then I just threw on a wig and applied some lashes. And here's the headband I made by just wrapping some flowers onto a headband, and I popped in some contact lenses and threw on this head chain, and there you have the finished look. You are now NYX, the goddess of night. Go out and conquer the world with your beauty. So hopefully you learned a thing or two about how to turn yourself into NYX, the goddess of night and beauty. Let me know what you thought in the comments below, and leave any suggestions for looks you might want to see. And don't forget to like and subscribe and turn on my notifications. And remember to keep it creepy. And now, for the main event, the big